From ghoulies and ghosties.
From ghoulies and ghosties.
And long-leggedy beasties.
And long-leggedy beasties.
And
things that go bump in the night. Good Lord! Deliver us.
Deliver us.
Hello spooks and spookettes, CountDrahoon here, and tonight I present to you a movie review of the latest bomb from Blumhouse. But before we get into that, let us take care of the castle-keeping notes. Thank you so much for tuning in to CountDrahoon Presents. Be sure to, if you haven't already, like this video and subscribe to our channel. And if you want to take your support a little step further, might I suggest becoming a patron through our Patreon page. Go to patreon.com/Drahoon to pledge $5 a month so that you can get access to our private Facebook group known as the Count's Lounge Lizards. There you will be able to watch our videos early and ad-free and join the ranks of the undead, along with Zach Robinson and Cova Gentry. And now that that's out of the way, let us get into the heart of the matter, and hopefully you won't feel the need to drive the stake through it. Let's take a deep dive. You know, this movie is actually pretty shallow, so don't hit your head on the way in. This is from writer-director Bryce McGuire. The film, Night Swim. The film follows the Waller family as they are house hunting. Not that kind of hunting. Ray Waller, portrayed by Wyatt Russell, is a professional ball player who is suffering from MS. He is looking for a home to hopefully put down the roots and to rehabilitate. Ray and his wife Eve, played by Kerry Condon, are drawn to a lovely home that happens to have a pool in the backyard. While walking around the perimeter of the pool, Ray finds an old baseball floating at the surface. He grabs at it, but unfortunately falls in while simultaneously having a spasm due to his illness. He is dragged out of the pool, resuscitated, and the family decides to head to the doctors. There they learn that the prognosis is actually a little bit worse than initially reported. Instead of his normal physical therapy routine of throwing the baseball, the doctor suggests something a little bit more low impact, such as yoga or water aerobics. The family gets to work on getting the pool up and running. They get the pool drained, and the interesting pool repairman informs them that the pool was built on a natural spring. Yeah, that's gonna set you up for some foreshadowing later, and we got this meaningless monologue about reptilian brains being afraid of water or something. Ray sustains a horrible cut on his hand while trying to clean out the pool drain. Yeah, there's gonna be more foreshadowing coming up. Also, Count, you got those last two plot points in reverse order? Thank you. So they get the pool up and running. Shortly after playing around in the pool, Ray finds out that the cut on his hand has magically repaired itself. This inspires Ray to spend more time in the pool. And lo and behold, on his next checkup, the doctor reports that he is improving beyond their expectations. However, strange things are happening in and around the pool area, and there's no lifeguard present. The family cat Cider goes missing, and it seems that the night lights in the pool start to flicker on and off randomly. And while on a night swim, I said it, on a night swim, Eve swears up and down that Ray was staring at her from the edge of the pool when Ray was upstairs watching television the entire time. So this inspires her to get a rolling big pool cover. 'Cause that's gonna help. That's gonna run you some more clams. Who hired this guy? Anyway, I think it was actually the nightmare that inspired her to want to get the cover. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna warn you, spooks and spookettes, it's going to be very difficult to get through this play-by-play, so I'm probably gonna speed past a couple of points just to get through it. The kids start to have strange encounters with the pool as well. The son meets a little girl by the name of Rebecca, who happens to be on the other side of the pool filter, and tries to pull him in on the other side. The daughter has a strange encounter with a fat pool demon, while also playing Marco Polo with her crush from school. And of course, in the name of dragging this movie on to be longer than it needs to be, they swear themselves to secrecy because their parents are happy and healthy and yay? I think? After all, Ray may very well be on his way to a comeback. He was able to knock the ball literally out of the park at his son's practice. And that's supposed to highlight the pool's miraculous healing powers, because, he walks with a cane, and now all of a sudden he's able to hit a ball and break a big stadium headlight. And after that, they decide to have a big pool party where they invite the team and some folks in the neighborhood. And it's at that party where the quirky realtor who sold the family the house spills the beans and basically confesses that allegedly a little girl drowned in the pool. The little girl's name, Rebecca. And that was 30 years ago. While this conversation is taking place, Ray gets possessed by the pool. You heard that correctly. He gets possessed by the pool and nearly drowns one of his son's teammates. And of course it all gets caught on tape. Not that that means anything, because they literally do nothing with that slight plot point at all. It just happens. So Ray has yet another spasm, although this time it's not triggered by the MS, it's actually by the pool demons. They possess him, and scary black veins are popping out everywhere, and he starts to vomit. Eve decides to do a little research on the house, and it turns out disappearances in and around the pool go even further back before Rebecca. The realtor finds the new address for Rebecca's mother, gives it to Eve, and Eve decides to pay her a little visit. It's here we learn from the mother's exposition that the pool was actually built on an ancient wishing well. The well grants wishes of health, but in order for it to work properly, you must offer it a sacrifice. The mother actually sacrificed little Rebecca to the pool so that her ailing son could heal and ultimately become a diplomat in Washington, D.C. The mother is possessed by the pool spirits, who reassure Eve that her husband will be healed. All it takes is for one of her children to be sacrificed forever to the pool. Eve rushes home, but the pool lures the son in by tricking him into thinking that the family cat has returned. Because of Eve's father's Navy background, she is trained in deep diving and knows exactly what to do. She ties herself to a hose that is attached to the diving board and jumps in to save her son just in the nick of time from the clutches of the pool demons. Meanwhile, Ray goes crazy and starts chasing after his daughter. Somehow his daughter is able to get a hold of a baseball bat and knock some sense into Ray. However, the pool starts to take hold of the boy, and Ray decides to sacrifice himself by jumping in and allowing the pool demons to pull him under. And so Eve and the kids decide to stay in the house and seal up the pool with cement forever, so that no one will ever have to be sacrificed again. The end. And here is why this movie doesn't work. For one thing, I found the whole movie to be disjointed. Absolutely terrible pacing. I was annoyed with the entire film within the first 5 minutes. It builds us up to go nowhere. It does seem that there was some attempt at character development. We see this with the explanation of Eve knowing how to deep dive. We also see this with the son struggling with trauma and anxiety. But somewhere along the way, Bryce McGuire just said to himself, "Nah, never mind," and just gave up. The biggest crux of this film is that it needed to be one of two things. It either needed to be totally silly, off-the-wall crazy, something along the lines of a film like Mattress or Sofa, or it needed to be some sort of deep allegory for something else. The antagonist is a pool. A pool! Granted, a pool full of dead people, but they pretty much act as an extension of the pool once they're sacrificed to it. It's hard to take this film seriously because on one hand, it barely takes itself seriously at all, and then on the other, it takes itself far too seriously. The shoddy pacing of the movie is interrupted by jump scares that are neither frightening nor creative. The pool people seem to be super generic, the designs are uninspired and seem to be thrown together. The most redeeming thing about this film is the cast. They are a group of highly competent actors who are doing the very best they could with less than suitable material. I worry about Wyatt Russell's career. I genuinely think he is a great actor, and if given the chance to break out, he will be as big a star as his father Kurt. Here lately I feel like he's been asked to carry a big load, appearing in projects that don't seem to accommodate the caliber of star that he is. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was decent. However, the latest Monarch series was seriously lacking overall. I'll have a review on that later. I've said this before, and I will say it again. Hollywood needs to get their stuff together. If they keep casting him in crappy things, audiences will associate him with crap, and I don't want that for him. He is better than that, and worthy of so much more. I knew going into this movie that it would be bad, but I had hoped that it would at least be fun. But it wasn't. It was aggravatingly slow, and it was a bridge that built up to nowhere in terms of character development, story, and good scares. With the recent failures of Exorcist Believer, the last two Halloween films, and now Night Swim, I'm getting a little concerned that Blumhouse is starting to turn into the Disney of horror. A corporate powerhouse that has gotten too big for its britches, that has wrecked two IPs, and now is unable to create its own original content. Perhaps I'm speaking too soon. Maybe the pending merger between Blumhouse and Atomic Monster will yield a new creative era. Or it will all go horribly wrong. We shall see. What did you think of Night Swim? Be sure to comment below. I hope you enjoyed this evening's review, but unfortunately that's all the time I have. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to what's coming next on CountDrahoon Presents. Until then, as far as things go when things go bump in the night, there are such things.
From ghoulies and ghosties.
From ghoulies and ghosties.
And long-leggedy beasties.
And long-legged beasties.
And things that go bump in the night. Good Lord! Deliver us!